exactly is this committee doing right now?
Well, what the committee is doing is a heroic job. When you submit an application to the FDA for approval, it used to take 2 or 3 semi-trucks to carry all the paper. Now, of course, it's electronic. But I say that to give you an idea of how much data is involved. And the experts, as well as the FDA, are responsible for going through all that data. The first question they're going to ask is, does the drug seem to work? Does the vaccine seem to protect? And I think we've seen some of that data, and it looks very good. Then they go to the next level. Is it safe? That is a much more difficult question. They have to examine all of the records to see which patients have taken it, what their reactions have been. We now know that even though the British went through all of that work, there were 2 people who had very serious anaphylactic reactions who took the vaccine. And that's what happens if you don't have huge studies and you don't include many, many people. So one of the real questions they're going to be asking is, yeah, it's safe for most people, but who might it not be safe for? Candidates, people who have asthma, people who use EpiPens may not be included in these vaccines. That can include up to 50 million Americans, 1 out of 15. So that's going to be a serious question. Another serious question is going to be asked about pregnancy. Have pregnant women been exposed? We don't really know. They haven't been in most trials. And so should they be included? That's another question. And then they look at another series of questions, which are a lot more detailed, which is exactly how this compound, this drug, this vaccine is manufactured. And I can't begin to tell you the detail you go into. You have to document every source of water, every vial you use, every process, everything that's possibly touching that drug gets examined in detail. So this is a really heroic task. Fortunately, we have people who have many decades of experience, and the FDA is really expert at doing this. So I think Americans can feel assured that if the FDA agrees and this panel has made a positive recommendation, even with limitations to who should get it and who should be at least held off for the moment, they can feel that it's going to be safe and will do the job that it's supposed to do.
So if the FDA does take the recommendation and if the panel does recommend that Pfizer or that the vaccine get approved, how quickly does that process usually take? And would it go faster because we're in the middle of a pandemic?
Yeah, it's going to go almost instantly because I know that there are many places that already have the vaccine in their freezer. It could start the very next day.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.